Okay, I'm going to try this again. The first version of this wound up being really quite long, and I apologize for that, so I'm going to redo it. I'm going to run down some of the cameras and why I have them, and in addition to my Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, I don't know if I'm going to upgrade it yet to the 26, but we'll see. Without wasting your time, let me work through this a little at a time. Let me see if I can even that up. There we go. That's better. So I started with the camera in this basic format. This is kind of a generic format for a lot of cameras that are still available today. We'll get into what it is in a second. I used a very cheap one originally on my mountain bike. It rattled and made everything jittery because it had no image stabilization whatsoever. So about 5 years ago, I bought this. It's the Akaso EK7000. Shows it right up there, EK7000. And it does say it's a 4K. I think it's interpolated, but I'm not sure. It takes a USB micro, and it takes a micro SD card. It also has an HDMI output. It has a nice looking screen. It does pretty well. No image stabilization, but the video is not bad if you hold everything still. It could be better, but it is what it is. 3.5, almost 4 years ago, when my world changed, I figured, maybe I need a GoPro. So I bought GoPro Hero 9 Black. Very functional. And a lot of really solid accessories for it, including cages and a way to connect a microphone, which would be this little doodad, which I think was actually for some of the earlier GoPros. You plug your phone or your microphone into that. That plugs into the camera. And I have another cage. This one's all plastic, and that doodad fits in the bottom of it. I'm not a big fan of this style mount. I know it's the generic GoPro mount. Everything uses it. Oops, I should hold it over here. Everything uses it. Is what it is. I don't like it, but I think it adds space to everything. One thing I don't like about the GoPro 9, at least, is it overheats. And it does it in really weird really weird ways, and at really strange times, and it's not repeatable. And that's kind of annoying. So I'm cheap. I think I'll mention that another time when I start talking about microphones. So I was looking for something that was a lot more solid than the EK7000, because this is light. It weighs practically nothing. In fact, here, let me just see. It's like, is that really making any noise? This camera, well, the GoPro makes quite a bit more noise. This camera makes almost as much noise when it hits. It's also, instead of plastic, it's aluminum housing, aluminum frame. It's got a screen on the front, which is kind of nice, like the GoPro is, so you can see what you're doing when you're recording yourself. This uses USB micro, takes a micro SD card down here in the battery compartment. I'm a big fan of having a tripod socket that is centered with the lens. I just hate that it's offset from the camera itself, but that's nitpicking on my part. The audio isn't horrible. Don't yell at it while you're talking. Stay fairly close to it. It does not like road noise. It does not like wind noise, and it could be better. All in all, it's a nice camera. It works. So somewhere along the way, I decided I needed another one of those. So I didn't realize at the time when I bought the Akaso Brave 7LE, which is what that one is, and is same with this one. This one's been updated to include a USB-C port instead of the USB micro. So I'm thinking, hey, with all the USB micro or USB-C external microphones, this will be great. I can use the thing that I bought for the GoPro with it. I guess again, Akaso decided to make that we'll say, for lack of a better word, we'll say it was a proprietary format on the USB-C instead of the standard protocol that pretty much everybody else uses. The upside to it is if you send them a message, what they will send you is they will send you the proper adapter cable. You know, USB-C, 3.5-inch microphone, or 3.5 millimeter, that it requires the TRRS, tip ring sleeve, or shield, depending on how you were raised. The 4-contact 3.5 millimeter plugs, as opposed to the 3 that is on that side. And that one's just the tip ring and sleeve. What was nice when they sent me this, for the price of shipping, they sent me this along with a external remote wireless lavalier mic. And the bonus is it'll do Lightning for the Apple iPhone people, and it does USB-C for everybody else. It did not have a windscreen on it, but those are relatively inexpensive. And I found a blue bunny-haired one, so that's what I use. And I did a video with this, with the various microphones, including a wired one that they sell, which is, I don't think it's any better than the internal microphone. It's got about 3.5 feet of cord, and so you're not going to walk away from it like you can with these. Okay, that's enough of that. So, there you go. I tried a little thumb-sized camera, okay? And I got a pretty good sized thumb, but it's not, I mean, my hands aren't great. I mean, I'm a XL or double XL glove, depending on the make and the cut. So I tried that camera and I did not like it. Well, let me rephrase that. I liked the camera. I made a video about it, but the app for it really, really stunk. I wanted to like that camera so bad, but its image stabilization really wasn't that great. But its audio quality was really quite good. But the app was designed for DashCam, and it was hard to connect, and it wouldn't stay connected. It was impossible to count on it for use as a remote. So I got a really good deal on, because it's the white rather than the black. It was like $20 cheaper than the black one. SJCam C300 Pocket. I like the size. It's a little bigger than my thumb, not by much. They advertise it as a vlogging camera, which, you know, you got the lens on the front, you got the screen on the front, you know, power button and everything. It's got interchangeable batteries, which it only came with one battery, so I had to order another one, and I ordered a charger for the two so I could stick them both on charge. Or you could plug it into the USB-C to charge, but you can only charge one battery at a time at that point. The only thing I don't like about it, well, a couple things, and this is a common theme: you can't use an external microphone. And for a camera that you're going to use this way as selfie most of the time, the microphone is right here on the back. Right, you know, and the bigger one there is the speaker. That little indent, that's what it clips into some of its attachments for. It's got a couple that wrap all the way around it, including a waterproof one. You can even connect a power source to it when it's in the waterproof housing if you've got the right cable, and it does seal up really, really nice. So, I mean, it's nice to put out in the weather, in a rainstorm, in a snowstorm, while you're driving in the rain, and you're not going to hurt the camera. It's a decent image. It's not a horrible audio if it's just right there next to it, but you move away from it and it goes away quick. Is what it is. And it weighs practically nothing. For my grandkids, I bought another EK7000. It's the only difference is this has a little more writing on the front. Again, it's the same connections, and it's the same basic camera, same settings. Then I decided I needed a 360 camera. Well, I didn't want to spend the money for an Insta360. So I found a GoPro 360 Max, the GoPro Max. I think this is the second generation. It's still got the same specs as the original, but now they've got a new one. What I don't like is the lenses are offset front to back, which really kind of makes it tough for the image, for the images to get stitched together. But it's really kind of cool to have it for making your selfie stick disappear, and it's really fun to play with. What I don't like is in the editing app specific to the camera, I've had a great deal of trouble exporting my videos. I've had a couple people show me tricks and they help, but there's got to be a better way. I understand DaVinci Resolve may start pinching these things together. I'm not going to count on it because I don't, I do use it. I'm just trying to learn it. Anyway, I liked it, but I realized that I really want a good 360 camera. So Akaso, about that same time, they introduced their own 360 camera. And, it's really, really quite similar to the Insta360. It does not share dimensions with any of them, but it's close enough that you can use some of their accessories. Like the case to put it in, as opposed to the little bag, the neoprene bag that it came with, which is going to get some dirt in it and scratch the lenses. And, Akaso did eventually bring out a rubber sleeve, silicone sleeve that goes over the lenses. But then you've got the screen is susceptible to damage. What I don't like is it's weatherproof, but it's not waterproof. So unlike the 360, you're not going to go diving with it. But if you're out in the rain, it gets a little wet from spray, you're not going to hurt it. It's not going to be that bad. They don't have very many accessories for these, and that's kind of annoying. But it's a third the price of a Insta360 camera, any of the X series. And it's attractive. So the app is also quite easy to use. You also cannot use, there's no option for using an external microphone. So there's no, you can't connect anything like what I got for the Brave 7 LEs. It's okay. Then revisiting the thumb-sized camera, Akaso, at the same time they introduced that, or actually just before they introduced that, they introduced a budget version of the Insta360 Go series cameras. It's a little thumb camera. It is literally the size of my thumb. It is waterproof, so you can drop it in the water. It won't matter. You can. It has 32 gig of memory in it. You do have to. The only way you're going to connect it is with the USB-C port. There's this funky tripod thingy. Looks like bunny ears upside down. They're not very sturdy, so don't put any weight on them. And it's got a 1/4" 20 tripod socket on it, but man, that's not flat. So I don't see how that's useful, but that's just me. Again, there's no option at all for external microphones either. Then I found one of these little doodads on AliExpress. It's the only thing that I have any documentation for is they call it the Go3. Don't say Go3 because that's probably an infringement, but it's not a bad little camera. It's much better than that other one I had that had the DashCam app. The app on this is pretty good. It's friendly. It tells you it's an action cam when you turn it on, and when you turn it off, it says "see ya." There's no image stabilization. The audio is not horrible. I'm putting up a video for that using that camera. It's a tiny little thing. Weighs nothing. I don't know how long the battery actually will last, but it's not waterproof either. There's where your micro SD card goes into, and it's got a open USB-C port, and it's got these little indents on either side that it uses to clip into its accessories. It's a neat little camera. It's not too shabby. For $20, if I lose it, I'm not upset. going back to my SJCam, they come in two varieties other than color. You can get them in white or you can get them in black. If you take the battery off for the other type, it includes, because this is a 1000 milliamp hour, but they have a 2800 milliamp hour extended battery set that includes a screen on the backside. And you can choose in the settings which side you use, and it's pretty easy to switch. I found one on eBay for $20. This camera, the way it sits with one I don't even think they include a battery. I had to buy one. 139 bucks, roughly. Add another 40 bucks and you wind up with that. Camera clips right in. I bought this and I didn't notice that the camera was included. I thought I was getting just the battery with the screen on it. So I was shocked when it showed up for $20 plus my like $5 or $6 for shipping, and it had a camera on it and it worked and it recorded, and again, no external microphone available. But the nice part is my batteries work. Clips right in. Okay, that's it with the cameras. I bought a pile of microphones. Garbage. Oh wait, that one's the one that came with the Akaso stuff. Garbage. And I think there's 2 or 3 that aren't here that I already threw away that are worthless. What isn't worthless, and I spent more on these than I did for this. Let me even that camera up again. And what I have for your viewing pleasure is the MAONO Wave T5. And it's quite similar to the Hollyland. It comes with a bunch of cables. It comes with the Dead Kitty wind muffs. Comes with a battery case. It's got a receiver to use with your various types of cameras. It's got your microphones. There is AI noise reduction. You can use the microphones with that, or you can use the microphones with your iPhone Lightning, or you can use it with your Android with the USB-C. Works just fine. You get a few more settings with this than you do with the app that's on the phone when you're using either one of these other sets. This was 120 bucks, and you can find them now for about 100 bucks. I strongly recommend them. I did a video that had them compared on my Brave 7LE. Did it with the Brave 7LE and the wired microphone and the one provided by Akaso. I did it with an imitation Movo or Rode, which I had it configured in properly. I need to revisit that and try it again sometime soon. But I just thought I'd share and tell you what different equipment I use, what different cameras and different microphones. I have a handful of lights that I don't use yet. I haven't needed to. If I decide to do more sitting at my desk stuff, I've got lights to do that, and I've got some lights for accenting, and because I mean, YouTube creators got to have the cool stuff, right? I still don't really see myself as a true blue YouTuber, but I guess I do because I've got some people who keep coming back, and thank you if you're one of those people. If you're new to me, I'm Roger. This is my channel. I did start it as a promise to my late wife to go to the places and do the things, to go places and do things that we talked about that she was unable to do in her last years on disability. But it's also a legacy for my kids, my grandkids, great-great-grandkids, so that they can see what grandpa or great-grandpa or great-great-grandpa Roger did way back, when he was young and dumb. Oh, wait, I'm not young and dumb. I'm just dumb now. I'm old and dumb. How about that? So that's why I started it. That's what I'm doing. I'm living my best life. I've got the rest of my life ahead of me. I'm chasing sunrises, not sunsets. My sunset's coming soon enough. I ain't worried about that. So I'm chasing my sunrises, and I'm a fool doing it. But you know what? I'm going to live every day as if I've got nothing left to lose. Anyway, rest of my life ahead of me. I have an amazing girlfriend that love a second time around is just incredible, and I don't know how to explain it. So I won't even try. So with that, I'm just going to sit there and go with all my junk. One of my projects. License plates. I've lived in all of those places, by the way. That's about it. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Be kind and patient with yourself. I love you. Roger out.